من منا لم يسأل نفسه كيف يمكنني أن أقضي على مشكلة البطالة وأوفر لكل الناس مصدر رزق كريم؟
بل من منا لم يحلم أن يكون مدير شركة ورائد أعمال يبني بلده ويقوي اقتصاده ويدعم كل الطامحين للنجاح والتفوق.
هو كذلك ضيفنا المميز الثالث، شاب كبر حماسه وشغفه، اجتهد على نفسه، وحين زاوج طموحاته بالعمل والاجتهاد أصبح اليوم شعلة بين أقرانه ورائدا من رواد الأعمال. عن هذا الموضوع سيحدثنا صديقنا المحترم حامد الذي لبى دعوتنا من أمريكا وقال نعم هو مؤتمر عصر التميز وسأكون مع المميزين، فليتفضل مشكورا.
Okay, so as my brother just said, I was actually born in America, and my father also was born in America, but his father is Egyptian. And we have actually quite a big mix in our family. We have Egyptian, Lebanese, we have Moroccan, Turkish. My mother was born in Russia. It's quite a mix, and my wife here, she's always a big support for me. She's half Syrian, half Jordanian. But this is very, and Palestinian as well. So this is kind of a snippet of what you see in America. We're very mixed. And we also had a young marriage. But it's something that, I think, something that I encourage because young marriages a lot of times can be a source of inspiration, a source of support. I wanted to share with you guys 2 projects that I'm involved in. One is called Sundra. It's a chair that's specifically designed for the mosque. And the other one is called LaunchGood. It's the largest Muslim crowdfunding platform in the world. Until the video is ready, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background. I'm 26 years old, and I started my first business in high school when I was 16, so 10 years ago. I started a design agency, and we focus on branding and web design. And ever since then, I've never studied design. I've never studied business before I started my business. But I just started, and I just had a good support network around me and just began the businesses. So one common thread in a lot of the work that I do is I love good design and innovation. Let me see if the video is ready. I'll show you one project I've been involved in called Sundra. You may have heard of it on Najum al-Ulum.
For كل مسجد في العالم, there's a clear problem with the chairs that we use to pray. Sundra now gives us the opportunity to share the beautiful experience of praying in Jama'ah like never before. With an idea from the Islamic world and built by the Arab world, Sundra is for the entire world. Vote for Sundra.
So simply, this chair solves one of the very common challenges that we see in the mosques. If somebody's praying in line, needing to pray in a chair, they're either blocking the person behind them from making sajda, or they're not standing in line. This chair allows you to stand in line like everyone else, and also not block anyone from making sajda behind you. And this is a good example of the idea of reviving the legacy of innovation. We all have an incredible history behind us of innovation that's not only by Muslims for Muslims, but is by Muslims for the world. The history of our tradition is we've always been big contributors to society and to the world, and not only living within a Muslim bubble. Unfortunately, in our generations, it's a lot tougher because we have kind of a mindset that limits us from how much we can push our innovation. And a lot of times we see, Silicon Valley maybe pushing out Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff, and we kind of feel like we're just consumers, or we're not really the driving force. And I'm here to say that we have that history of innovation, and this is something that we should help revive. And just an interesting statistic, only about 20% of Muslims are Arab. The rest of the Muslims are not Arab. And there's such a large ecosystem out there. The global Muslim market is one of the largest untapped markets in the world. And you can imagine it with about the population of China. So you have essentially 1 billion plus people, almost 2 billion people now, that it's untapped. People are not tapping into this market. And you don't have to be Muslim to tap into this market. So in America, for example, I hear a lot of marketing agencies, design firms, they're talking about what they call the Muslim opportunity. How can you address this billion people that it's not very easy to address? And you guys are sitting in the heart of it. And sometimes when you're sitting so close to something, it's hard to see. But there's an incredible opportunity that we all have to play a very important part in this, because we understand the market more than anyone else. They can spend millions of dollars in the US trying to understand things that come very naturally to you. I'm going to show you one other project. Can you raise your hand if you know what crowdfunding is? Crowdfunding? Okay, so not too many people. We have a crowdfunding platform, and this is actually the world's largest crowdfunding platform for Muslims. It's called LaunchGood, launchgood.com. You can check it out. And the idea with LaunchGood is, or the idea with crowdfunding generally, if you're trying to raise, let's say, $10,000 or 10,000 lira for a campaign or a project that you want to start, traditionally, you would go to a few people and you would say, can I have 10,000 lira? Maybe you go to a few people and say, can I have 1,000 each? So you go to a few people and you ask for a lot of money. But now what you can do is you can go to a lot of people and ask for a little bit of money. So crowdfunding campaigns, you can say, I'm trying to raise 10,000 lira to start this new program. Or maybe the brother that was talking about the Gaza project. Maybe they need an extra $5,000 to start, maybe to sponsor new students. Now you can go on launchgood.com, you can put in this campaign, and you can tell people, I'm trying to do this project. And then people around the world can come together, and then they'll help and contribute to your campaign. Now the nice thing about this, and this is something that you really feel, especially these days, is the hearts of the ummah are still connected. Even though there's so much divide, there's so much political divide, physical divide, geographically we're all over the world, but the hearts of the ummah are connected like never before. And not just that, but we're all physically connected as well with the phones in our pockets, with WhatsApp, with Facebook, with messaging. We all have that connection. And we had an unfortunate event in the US when the 3 students were shot in Chapel Hill. The 3 Muslim students, and if you see the tweets that go around the world, this is actually the same day as Valentine's Day. And you see the tweets around the world, it looks like the world is a beating heart. It actually was more trending than Valentine's Day. And you feel like the globe is a beating heart and the ummah is like this beating heart altogether. But the challenge is, how do you activate that? What do you do with this globally connected ummah? And a lot of people, they might be liking articles, they might be sharing things on Facebook, and then you kind of feel like you did something, but you didn't really do anything. Now, what we do with LaunchGood is we're activating this into action. So we can just play this quick video of LaunchGood. I'll show you what we did over the past year, and I'll talk a little bit about it. People can start their businesses off of LaunchGood. Some people started their businesses. We started in 2013. Alhamdulillah, in 3 years, we've already passed $14 million in funds raised around the world. So that's just a little snippet of what our 2016 year looked like. And unfortunately, there's so many negative stories. But alhamdulillah, there was at least this positive force coming from the Muslim Ummah trying to make the world a better place. And you saw that there are some people that might have started their businesses off of launch goods, some people that are doing charity campaigns. One of our biggest campaigns, at least in the United States, again, we're operational in over 70 countries, was when there was a white supremacist that burnt down about 8 churches in the South. And nobody was even talking about it. It was very little about it in the news. And the Muslim community in America said, these are our neighbors, and we're going to help rebuild those churches. And this was one of the largest campaigns raising, the goal was $10,000. They raised over $100,000. President Obama spoke about this campaign to the nation, and it allowed many people to say, this is really what Muslims are about. It puts our values in action. So I'm just going to close real quick by saying, if you guys have ideas, and a lot of us have ideas and we want to see it go into the world, my workshop, what I'll be talking about is MVP. So in the startup space, there's something called MVP, which is the minimal viable product. You don't need a lot of time, you don't need a lot of energy, you don't need a lot of money to get your idea and to test it, to see, should I move forward with this or not? Unfortunately, a lot of people, they build an entire product just to find out nobody wants to use it. The new way to do this is just test your assumptions. If you have an idea, for example, a quick example of what MVP is. On LaunchGood, I run the design in LaunchGood, and let's say we want to build a new, for example, a new feature, a new dashboard. Instead of me spending all this time and energy and money building out an entire new feature, I can just add a button on the website that says new dashboard and see, do people even click it or not? If people click the button, then I have a good idea. People want to see a new dashboard. But if no one's clicking it, why am I going to invest my time and money? So for you guys, it might be, for example, you want to start a website or a blog. Do it just a simple sign-up form. And the sign-up form will say, this is what my website's going to be about. Sign up to be the first to know, okay? And tell yourself, I'm not going to start until I get 5,000 or 10,000 people signed up. And then you push out the idea of what you want your website to be about. And if you get 5,000 or 10,000 people signed up, you know it's worth moving forward. And if you don't, then you know the market isn't interested in this, and you can change your position, you can change your messaging. Start with just testing your assumptions, and this will help a lot in terms of your growth. It's smart growth rather than the traditional way, which is a lot of times you build so much just to find out nobody wants it. I can talk more about this in the workshop, but thank you guys all for your time, and thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.